Hey everyone, and welcome to PGN Live. It is February 13th, 2016, and I am excited to talk to you all today because I wasn't able to stream yesterday morning. The day ended up being a little bit too busy, and I missed talking to you all. Now, some of you might have been here a couple of minutes ago for about 2.5 minutes, it looks like, and or like, or are like, wait a minute. This is deja vu. Didn't you already stream today? Well, I did, and then apparently there was an internet connectivity issue. So something was going on. But we're good. We're back. I had to reboot the stream. So once again, I am just going to let people hop on in, get the pop out chat ready and rolling. I don't think too many people were here earlier. It looks like 8 showed up and folks were starting to chat. I only saw one comment, or I was only able to get to one comment, and that was by Big Time Timmy Jim, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll just reintroduce myself. I'm Paul Gale Network, and usually we have a nice smooth transition from not having a live stream to having a live stream, but today there was evidently some type of internet hiccup, and that's why we had to restart the stream. But let's see, we've already got 4 people in here, so it's working. Will Max 11 dropping a hello in the chat. Well, hello, Will Max 11. Welcome. Hope you're doing well today. Yeah, sorry for the confusion, I guess, because y'all thought we were streaming, and then 2.5 minutes in, boom, done. That's not the way it works around here, I promise. Usually we go for like Nintendo 64 minutes or longer. But anyhow, I'm looking forward to today's stream because Thursday morning, the usual on PGN Live is to have a Famitsu sales update because we get the data from Japan to see how did Nintendo, Sony, Xbox, whomever do in Japan for the prior week in terms of video game software sales and in video game hardware sales. But I wasn't here yesterday morning, so we've got that data today, and if I'm not mistaken, it's not going to be the top 10, it's potentially the top 30. We don't have to look over all of it, but we could glance, you know. We also have to talk about the PlayStation State of Play. That was pretty big yesterday. I didn't live stream it, but I live reacted and put up those videos here on YouTube. Like, I segmented them to like my 007 reaction, the God of War pair of games, the Star Wars Galactic Racer, the whole Konami segment, which I thought was fantastic, John Wick, and then individually breaking down, okay, Castlevania, Metal Gear Solid. Man, there was a lot of good stuff. Like, that was a beefy State of Play, a little over an hour long. They did it right. I'm going to drop that and put it in the chat. And there we go. I'll pin that message. Let's see. Will Max, I love the gaming history shorts. Is that what it says? Yes, I love the gaming history shorts. Well, thank you so much, Will Max. They're a lot of fun. Have you seen today's yet? You might have. I don't know. I'm wearing the same shirt because I just finished filming and uploading them. In case you haven't watched them, we can watch them together live right now. Today in gaming history, February 13th, 2015, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D launched for the Nintendo 3DS in North America. You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? Today in gaming history. That one was pretty fun. And then this one was fun. Simple. Today in gaming history, February 13th, 2015, the new Nintendo 3DS and new Nintendo 3DS XL launched in Europe and North America. New is good. Today, satisfying double click there. Paladin, welcome on in. Paladin8669 says, hi Paul, and Man, DQ7 did well in Japan. Yes, it did. 480,000 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to take a look. We'll let some more people roll in here, hopefully, and then we'll take a look. But let me scan it real quick right now. I did check it out yesterday briefly. What did I say? 480,000? Yeah, that's close. It looks like 460-ish. Just a little bit closer, but yeah, did pretty well. We'll go over it. I mean, we could start now, but usually some more people show up, and you know, when we have a good amount of folks in there, people are commenting back and forth on the sales, and folks are happy that their game did the best or that their system did well for the week, that kind of thing, you know? So we'll take a look at the software and the hardware. And speaking of good looking things in here, Ash Gaming 17 kicking off the stream nice, just like you did the other day with the 10 gifted memberships. Right now, doing a super cool, generous 1 gifted membership in which that went to Rencor 2003. Big thank you, Ash, for starting us off on the right foot. Let's go. Ash with the $1 early on in the stream. Big thank you. Oh, did I update the bottom? No, so that means we're actually 436, 437. We're getting close to that 500 mark again. We only hit 500 once. It might happen again. I don't know. Like I said, it's kind of establishing new bases around here, you know, as it's still, even though it's a 20-year YouTube channel, it's on the newer side of half a year for streaming channel and, you know, memberships and stuff like that. So establishing a new base, finding out what it is. What is that baseline of members around here? Is it 300? Is it 400? Because we get to 5, but maintaining 5, no, that's a different beast. Maybe we'll get to a point where we're maintaining 5 and 500 is the new base. Time will tell. But for now, awesome to have 437. Thanks to Ash getting us there by 1 more today. Big thanks. Pokemon Fan 34 is here saying Paul with that James Bond badge next to your name. And that's kind of fitting, seeing that, you know, we got new footage of 007 First Light. That's looking good. A lot of the PlayStation State of Play games are coming to multi-platforms. It was such a solid state of play. Better, in my opinion, than the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. However, regardless of whether it was better or not, which, like I said, I think it was, a lot of those games are coming to Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2, so doesn't really matter if it was better or not, right? Lee J05 is here saying, hey. Welcome, Lee J. How are you doing? Kind of want to put up a poll. I'd like to find out what were people's favorite games from that state of play. Maybe that would be a good question. Let's see. What was your favorite announcement at the state of play? I think we've got to have Metal Gear Solid 4 out of PS3 prison. Brand new Castlevania. Ooh. Star Wars Racers. Star Wars. What is that? What is the title? Star Wars what? Star Wars Racers gameplay. Star Wars Galactic Racer. That's it. Star Wars Galactic Racer gameplay. And then we have one more. I want to say John Wick. Well, we'll have those four. It was pretty cool. I was watching it, and then the certain, suit was being stitched together, and the glass and this table. I'm like, is it John Wick? It is John Wick. That's John Wick. And then it became more and more apparent how he's moving, everything. And then I'm listening. Is he gonna talk? Is it Keanu Reeves? It's his likeness. Yep. Is it his voice? Yeah. So it's either him or someone that sounds like him. So I don't know. It looks pretty cool though. Xperia Play. Welcome, welcome. I wonder what MSG4 means for other PS3 exclusive games. Could they have figured out a way, or is this just a one-off? It might come down to the developer or publisher, right? Like, if it's The Last of Us, that's up to Sony. That's up to Naughty Dog and Sony and them to figure out, do they want to bring The Last of Us to something else or not? Do they want to bring God of War 3 elsewhere or not? Same goes with Ratchet and Clank or any of those titles, right? But third-party wise, I'm actually trying to think how many third-party games were exclusive on PlayStation 3. PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 were called the HD twins for a reason, and that's not a condescending name. That's because the two of them shared quite a magnitude of their library with one another, Street Fighter 4, Assassin's Creed, DC Mortal Kombat, various Soul Calibur games, Grand Theft Auto 4, 5, Final Fantasy 13. Much of those systems games were shared between. This happened to be, a Konami developed title. What would be interesting to see if Street Fighter 5 from PS4 will ever come out of PS4 jail. I say jail just because Street Fighter has, for the vast majority of its life, been on everything, Came out in arcades, first came to Super NES. It was exclusive to Super Nintendo until eventually, Sega Genesis got the Champion Edition, and then Super Nintendo got the Street Fighter Turbo, 2 Turbo. But then, from then on, it was, on everything. So it was kind of weird to get that Street Fighter 5 only on PS4. I know why, funding and such, but still. Yeah, not too many third-party games that I can think of that are stuck on PS3 off the top. But it's a good question. Mitch Begel. Paul, hey, welcome, welcome. Ice Storm. The only one that caught my eye was Kina, Scars of Cosmora. That was a good opener. Wasn't that the first one that they showed off? Kina looked good. Legacy of Kain coming back was pretty cool. The stream has been shared on Twitter. Thank you, Ash. Paladin saying nothing that really interests me, but that is okay. The new area is revealed in Pragmata was cool, however. Yeah. I'm curious to see how varied does Pragmata's later levels look, I'm hoping for plenty of colors in the game, plenty of different types of enemies to take on and such. but it's looking cool. What would be fun for me if Capcom pulled this as a surprise is in Pragmata, you could have a player 2 as Diana operate the button presses. If you want a cooperative experience, that's how you could do it. It frees up a little bit of the thought process of player 1, but it makes it fun and engaging for a player 2 to involve themselves in the game with you. Like, I think it's cool and tactical and a fun experience operating both characters, in that way. But totally would my son or daughter enjoy this up, down, left, right with the, X, B, Y, and A buttons. Yeah. Simple enough to include. If Capcom did it, it'd be pretty cool. Oh, let's see. Tabby Cat Games, hi there. Hi, hit that like button. AJ Rax, I think I read that earlier, but if I didn't, just in case, AJ Rax, hi. Having Hope 5, hello there. Linda Ray, hello there. Legacy of Kain was one of the first games I played on PS1. Yeah, that's pretty old school. That would be cool. One person on combat and the other on hacking. Yeah. Easy enough of an inclusion. Maybe that's not the vision. That's fine. But easy enough to do. Right? Totally. It's not manipulating another camera. It's not reducing the frame rate or the resolution because there's too much on screen or too many variables. It's just as simple as letting another player just tap those buttons. Because it is a cooperative experience in the game, so you could make it a cooperative experience, like legitimately in how you play. Blanky 19. I find it kind of annoying that the Switch 2 is still being treated like a lesser than system when it comes to big third-party games. The system is missing out on big new games like John Wick and Star Wars. Well, okay. The system is barely 8 months old, so it's still in the relative infancy of its life. I think by and large, when you look at it from a mostly objective eye, you could look at these video games that are being shown off and think there is quite close parity between Nintendo Switch 2 and other versions. They are within the realm of similarity far more than not to the vast majority and their observable eyes. Without pixel counting, frame rate analyzing, resolution, tinkering, combing through, hair particles, this and that. Overall, you could see, yeah, that's the same game, and it's playing the same, and it's a similar experience. And a lot of the games that have come out in the last 8 months have come out on multiple platforms, including Nintendo Switch 2. And at the same time, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 wasn't like 6 months later, it was the same time. Resident Evil Requiem is coming out the same time, as is Pragmata. WWE and Madden, same time, and quite comparable. There's a vocal minority that likes to be mad online, but I wouldn't put much faith in them. There are some developers not showing or committing yet all of their games to Nintendo Switch 2, but that could be from a lack of time with dev kits or sticking to Nintendo's schedule on, we've got to wait a little bit longer until we show off something. You know what I mean? But I think most people are happy. I think most developers are happy. I think most people online are actually happy. It's just that the vocal minority oftentimes speaks loudly, They got to make up for something. They're hurting somewhere else, so they have to talk louder to get attention, to drown their own pain and make themselves feel better about their own purchases. If folks can't get attention speaking positively, they get attention by speaking negatively, because that will work for a lot of folks. So I wouldn't worry too much about the trajectory of third parties coming to the system. I think more and more will happen. What will really help is sales. If there's factual data from Capcom, Resident Evil Requiem, no excuses. It's on all 3 systems the same day. Digital, same price, physical, in stores. Say what you will about what kind of disc or piece of plastic cartridge that you're sticking in your system. It's in store, physical. Got it? Let's just go with that. And yeah, Nintendo Switch 2 ended up making up 40% of physical sales, with Sony getting 50 and Microsoft getting 10. In terms of the digital sales of the overall, Nintendo Switch made up 20, and the other 60 went to PlayStation, and 15 went to Steam, and 5 went to Xbox. And overall, the entire game, 30% was on Steam, 40% was on Nintendo, 20% was on, 15 on Steam, 40% on PlayStation, 20% on Nintendo, something like that. The last several percent on Xbox, 10. For a game where 5, 6, 7, and 8 did not come out day and date on Nintendo platforms like it did on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PS4, Xbox One, that would say, dude, people care. Doesn't matter that it's rated M. Doesn't matter it's horror game. The last new big Resident Evil that Nintendo got exclusively was Resident Evil Revelations on the Nintendo 3DS, And before that, the last big exclusive one was Resident Evil 4, which was like a 10-month window of exclusivity on the GameCube. So if Requiem does well as an opener, it's going to be really nice. I mean, if Nintendo makes up 20% of the overall sales, and like I said, Sony gets, let's say, 40, and Steam gets 20, Microsoft gets 20 or 10, or if the split is comparable. If Sony is, or I should say, if Nintendo is like dead last in that, like poor, right? It's got 5. Physical, digital combined, Nintendo's got 5. That's going to be kind of low. That's going to be a hard sell. Be like, okay, well, Sony's got 50. Even the struggling Microsoft got 30. Steam got 15, and Nintendo got 5? There's a lot of effort porting that game over. So what gives? I don't think that's going to be the case, though. Because, number one, you're going to see Resident Evil Requiem on Nintendo Switch 2 perform pretty well in Japan. And I think the North American audience has a lot of love for Resident Evil if you're a Nintendo gamer, because we were eating good on Nintendo GameCube. And there still are a good few million of those people around today. You saw Resident Evil 6 perform well on Nintendo Switch, an old game that sold over 1 million digitally. My whole point in this, I know I'm going off on a Resident Evil tangent, but I wouldn't be too worried about the future of third parties on the platform, because I think the proof is going to be in the pudding, and the sales are doing fine so far. Anyways, back to chat. That's just a little offshoot, We'll have to see of stuff like Galactic Racer, John Wick. Time will tell. Nintex2 Dope is here. Welcome. Joycey J. Hey, Paul. Hey, y'all. Castlevania hype? That's right. That was cool. Castlevania was one of the games that I was talking about that would be cool for the Nintendo Direct, and we got it here. As was that Metal Gear Solid collection. Literally what I was hoping for. So 2 of those titles I got a few days later, so all good. Blanky, if Xbox or PlayStation were 8 months old, they would get those games. I'm saying the Switch 2 is good enough, but developers aren't wanting to make those games for it. So it could be a matter of finances, finding the means and the resources to porting over these games developed for an x86 architecture that Xbox and Sony share to ARM architecture that is exclusively on Nintendo. Maybe they think, all right, it would take 30 million to port this game over. We'd probably get 500,000 in sales, so we'd probably make enough money. But the amount of time it's going to take away from the team is also 5 months. We do have another game on the horizon. That game needs more resources going towards it instead of this port for this title that might make, us $1,000,000. Oh, is it worth it? A lot of little decisions like that. Or, we just didn't get these dev kits in time. Or there could be some developers that are like, I don't think this is going to sell that well on Nintendo. But that would be the most foolish one, I think. Because the thought process shouldn't exist anymore that Nintendo gamers only buy Nintendo games, number one. It is a big reality that they favor Nintendo games, but not only. And number two, nothing but kiddie games sell on Nintendo. Absolutely false. A lot of rated T for teen and rated M for mature games sell just fine on Nintendo Switch. So if developers have that mindset, or the publishers, I should say, that's not good. That's not reality. It's not. Look at the sales. Look at how well Doom and Wolfenstein did. Mortal Kombat 11. Look how well it did. Or Hogwarts Legacy. Come on. Get that out of your head. Caps Paranormal. It's tough to decide between a new Castlevania and Metal Gear Solid 4. I never finished the game. I'm personally bummed out because I would prefer to buy those games on Switch 2. I have an Xbox Series X. At least you're covered, Blanky. At least you're covered. You could possibly wait to get them on Nintendo Switch 2, but if they don't come out, then you would be getting them at a cheaper price for Xbox Series X. That's a possibility. But I know what you mean. NS2 would be seemingly is your primary platform, so you hope most of those games come out there. I get that. The squeaky wheel gets the most grease sort of thing. I saw your reaction to Castlevania. It was funny. Thank you. Hey, Blanky, me too. I always wanted to play on Nintendo hardware. Nintendo themselves forced me into the arms of another console maker. Honestly, if third parties can do consistent 30 FPS and 1080p or higher using DLSS, I'm happy. Yeah, Paladin, I've said it time and time again. I've got no problem with a consistent 30 frames per second. You give me similar visual fidelity in the games themselves, and the textures, the lighting, the shadow effects, the reflections, animations, etc. Comparable or slightly longer loading time. 1080p to 1440p in terms of resolution compared to others getting 4K. 30 to 40 frames per second consistently instead of the others getting 60 or 120 modes. And yeah, I would take that Nintendo Switch 2 version. If the difference is so drastic, where it's, 4K 60, gorgeous, stunning on PS5 or Xbox Series X, and the Nintendo Switch 2 version is super gypped, where it's a different looking game, the polys are way off, the graphics are poor, the resolution is far, far less, the frame rate is far less, and jittering, the load time is atrocious, and the game is buggy. Well, I'm not going to buy that version. Even if it is portable too, no, I'm going to get the better one. But we're such an equal level of parity, close enough, really, that yeah, I'm going to favor that Nintendo Switch 2 version, Yeah. Grid Legends conversation. Try not to restart any console war discussion, but just express my annoyance because I truly think the Switch 2 can handle those big new games. Yeah, you know, unless if a developer comes out and says, hey, despite the Nintendo Switch 2 having more RAM, more new modern tech in it, and DLSS, and faster components, I'm telling you, the difficulty in porting this game from x86 to ARM and the lack of as beefy of a CPU on Nintendo Switch 2 as other systems is what's holding back this game. And we would have to remake the game from scratch, and that's just not in the budget. Unless if a developer says that, for the vast majority, Nintendo Switch 2 is quite comparable to Xbox Series S, punching above its weight in some areas and falling a little bit behind in others. But overall, I believe it is and will prove to be the slightly more capable machine at delivering modern games. Speaking of delivering, we got some green in here out of nowhere. Oh man, that feels good. Roger Enyart with a big $10 in 10 gifted memberships. Dang, bringing us up to 447. Holy smokes. That's as close as we've been to 500 in quite some time. That's 53 away. This is one of the closest to that beautiful number. 2066. Roger, thank you so much for that generosity. And thank you again, Ash, for that dollar, gifting one person on this channel a white belt membership. Roger, let's see. Who got your 10? Fork 219, Azengard, Wing Wong, Celolivia, Moogle Evo, Cyber Taurus, Kenny, The Piazza Experience, Omar Carrillo, Mason Animates Official. And just like that, we've got 25 watching, 15 likes. If those 15 likes could boost up to 25 likes, I bet you the 25 people watching will all of a sudden shoot up to 30. Because what happens when you like, more people are like, huh, what are you liking over there? And it's going to draw them in. So if you're having a good time on the stream and don't mind hitting that like button, I'd appreciate it. But thank you to the 27 people watching now and the 15 likes. And thank you, Roger, once again for that generous 10. I really appreciate it. Also saying, happy Friday the 13th. Woo! That's right. I guess it's kind of fitting that, you know, today in gaming history, a kind of spooky game came out. Today in gaming history, February 13th, 2015, The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask 3D launched for the Nintendo 3DS in North America. You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you? Today, yeah. If nothing remotely horror came out today in gaming history, I'd be like, oh man. Not that February 13th is like, have to be associated with horror, but you know, Friday the 13th, sometimes people are like, oh yeah, that's spooky day, you know. But thank you, Roger, again. Paladin says, it's unlikely, but I hope they add a frame rate cap to Monster Hunter Stories 3 on Switch 2. The demo is uncapped and ranges from 30 to 35. Having Hope 5, dropping the Emio emoji. That Emio one's a fitting one. I'm wearing my hoodie right now. Nice caps, Paranormal. Blanky, I think you are correct about the x86 versus ARM thing. That must be a big reason we miss out or have to wait on some third parties. You know what, Blanky19? I want Nintendo Switch 2 to sell so freaking well. I mean, to just sell so well that third parties are like, whoa, 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 whoa. No, we're thinking about this wrong. Don't make the game from the ground up with x86 architecture in mind to put it on PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, and then port it to the ARM Nintendo version. No. Oh, wait a minute. the Nintendo Switch 2 version on its own of these games is outselling the other three combined. Maybe we should reverse engineer our brains and be like, let's make the game from the ground up like Capcom did Monster Hunter Rise on Nintendo Switch, and then deal with porting it to the others. Oh, how about that? You got a new idea for a new game? And Nintendo Switch 2's got like 40 million out there. Meanwhile, even though there would be more PlayStation 5s at that point, because it's been out longer, right? It's already at 90, and maybe more Xboxes. Slowly but surely, you're looking at the Nintendo Switch 2, and you're like, hold on, wait a minute. It's got 40 million in less than 2 years. But more importantly, the games, the SKUs that are leading the sales are all on these Nintendo Switch 2s. This version of Resident Evil sold the most. This version of that Metal Gear Solid port sold the most. That Castlevania sold the most there. That Hollow Knight Silksong sold the most there. That Mortal Kombat 12 sold the most there. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Why are we working so hard on dealing with the Nintendo Switch 2 port later? Let's make the new games on the lead platform that's selling the best. And then port it to the other stuff because the other stuff is selling like junk. Maybe not junk, but you know what I'm saying? That's where I want this generation to get to, is where Nintendo Switch 2 is so crushing it that developers are then now more utilizing the hardware. And then Nintendo's getting everything. And it wouldn't stop the others from getting everything either. It would just mean they're the ones that then have to get ported too, because they're the ones that sell less. So they are the second thought, third thought, fourth thought. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like it would bottleneck any company from thinking too much, because if you give Nintendo Switch 2 some time, I bet you will come up with magic, realizing what the system is capable and how far that DLSS, that CPU, that GPU can get you. And even if you max it, you will still be able to have that game and then look and run better on PS5, Xbox Series X, and then, yeah, have to make some sacrifices on Xbox Series S, maybe a little bit better here, probably a little bit worse there, and there you go, boom. Will we see that? Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Nerdy Paul's here, hello. Been playing Mario Tennis Fever, is very good, awesome. Silo Olivia saying thank you to Roger, excellent. Caps Paranormal, Paul, your channel has by far the highest viewer to like ratio I've ever seen. Well, big thank you. You know what? I'll take that as a win. Do I have a lot of viewers? Not a whole lot, but I got 27 viewers now and 24 likes. That means most of the people are having a good time. It's true. It is kind of weird, I will say. Quite a few streams that I show up on watching other people's content, there's like 250 people there and 70 likes. Are people just not liking it, but just being there for the heck of it? Or do they not think to like? Because that's, 28% of the people there actually liking. Or sometimes it's 230 and it's 113 likes. 117 people watching for minutes and minutes and minutes and minutes on end without liking it. If you don't like it, why are you wasting your time watching it? If you do like it, how come you haven't liked it at that point? You know what I mean? I don't know. So I am grateful, regardless of who likes it, that people are. So thanks. Thanks a lot. It does help because it does attract more people. Just like when Ash gifted a membership and Roger gifted 10 memberships, it brought people who weren't watching in because they see their email notification, they got a membership, and then they come on over. Caps Paranormal says, Majora's Mask was very creepy. I needed that guide for the game. Steak 1024 is in the house. Hey, Paul in chat. Joyce James, Josie J, nah, the game is lit. I don't think I can agree with the mass salesman that it's a terrible fate. Oh, because it's a good game. Majora is fitting. We have another Friday the 13th in March. That's cool, AJ Rax. Do we now? Interesting. I love Majora's Mask. It's one of my favorites. Paul, do you think we get Galactic Racers on Switch too? Man, I hope so. I hope so. It should. I made a comment in my video. I was like, in yesterday's reaction, I said, it looks like more than just a racing game. And I didn't mean that as a derogatory term towards just a racing game, but like, it looks like it's got a story. It's got a lot of ambition in the world building and stuff like that. However, at the end of the day, a racing game isn't so demanding on a console, even a seemingly ambitious one with storytelling and world building. It's a from front to back or back to front, left to right, up and down kind of on rails game. There's nothing to me that says this cannot be done on Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo Switch 2 is plenty powerful, plenty capable, plenty modern. And you got that throwback element serving the fandom of Star Wars Episode 1 Racer on Nintendo 64. So I think it should. Do I think it will? I'm going to go with yes on this one. I think it will. EcoTank 420. Brand new Castlevania should be top notch. Honestly, I'm as excited for that as I am for the Dusk Bloods and Resident Evil. Everything else looking pretty darn good too. Switch 2 is so peak. Oh my gosh. You know how cool that is, dude? Castlevania. I can't wait for some tunes. I hope it's really good. I was so stoked yesterday. Like, that announcement probably was my most hyped announcement. MGS4, I was super happy to see. John Wick, I thought was really, really neat. The God of War content at the end was fun. Kina was cool. 007 we already saw, but cool to see more of. I think the Castlevania one might have been like my most like, 40th anniversary, let's go. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Monster Hunter Rise has been my least favorite Monster Hunter to date. Been playing since the PlayStation days. If Switch 2 is around 18 million right now, we are definitely in a good spot for third-party support in the long term. Yeah, it's over 18. ELP, isn't that how it works? They develop for the lowest common denominator and upscale from there? You'd think so, ELP. But it's not just the lowest common denominator nowadays. It's also, well, you got systems with different architecture, you know? Because, yeah, I'll admit, Nintendo Switch 2 is not overall as powerful as PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. But it's pretty darn close enough with its modern tech, modern GPU, modern, still fast CPU, and DLSS, that the difference is negligible for most. What's going to help is if third parties start selling better and better on Nintendo Switch 2. When WWE 2K26 comes out, day and date, I would like to see the Nintendo Switch 2 SKU sell better than expected to make 2K games be like, oh shoot, that was our lead SKU. I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, you got a big established PlayStation install base that is just going to be bigger than Nintendo Switch 2s at that point. But maybe ratio-wise, comparatively speaking, because back in the day, it wasn't that way. Third-party games sold better on PlayStation than Nintendo 64. Third-party games, for a good majority, sold better on Xbox and PlayStation 2 than they did on Nintendo GameCube. You know, third parties for a while did have a little bit of hesitancy releasing their software on N64, GameCube, and even Wii. Even when Wii was the lead console, but that was also because Wii was a very different type of best-selling console of the generation, you know? Because they're like, man, we see competition. A lot of the Nintendo ownership goes to Nintendo's own IP. It's tougher to sell bigger games there. And then that's why you did eventually see some stuff not come out, like the GTAs, for instance. But one weird one that I will always say was a weird one is, where the heck was Virtua Fighter on GameCube? Because Sonic was doing well, Soul Calibur 2 did well, and for that matter, where was Soul Calibur 3 on GameCube? You know? Not good. Oh, let's see. Speaking of ARM, how cool would it be if Apple ever got serious about gaming and put out a handheld with the M chip? I'd love that. That'd be interesting. Also, all the hardware Valve has coming out, it is only the ARM headset that has me curious. Generally, big YouTubers get around like 10 to 15% like rate. You're blowing them out of the water. Heck yeah, Caps Paranormal. That's right. Joycey, people usually click on the notification and forget about the like button. I'm guilty of this as well. Well, that's okay. Gaming Observed, what's up, G-Man? What's up, Gaming Observed? Kina is my real answer. What's up, Nate? Ninty Prime in the house. And where am I? Shooting a video on the new Mario Bros. 2 movie. Cool. Castlevania Belmont's Curse. Yes. Man, what's up, Gaming Observed? Kina is I wonder if Belmont's Curse will get a physical release. I heard it was $40. Yeah. I'm super curious about the Duskbloods. Yes. More curiosity. Elisa has a 12-hour stream tonight for hitting 500 members. That's pretty cool. 500 is a nice achievement. You know what's also a nice achievement? We just hit 40 people watching and 29 likes. Let's go. That's almost 75%. Heck yeah. Let's see. Just had my 100 comment. Just had my first 100 comment one day vid and still going. 100 comments on one video in one day? That's pretty sweet. Congratulations on that. That's not bad at all. Let me see, 1 second. I think he did. Sorry, I'm getting caught back up. Rewind roughly 10 minutes. Okay. Tracy must be talking to someone else. Man, I'm looking forward to seeing a possible portable focused Monster Hunter built specifically targeting Switch 2. Yeah. We'll see. Nintaxu Dope. The thing with Star Wars Racers is everyone is comparing it to Episode 1 Racer. They are not the same. This new game uses many different crafts as race vehicles. It's not solely pod racer. That's true. I did like that Mos Eisley Desert that they showed off in the end, like replicating, Episode 1, Phantom Menace. That was pretty sweet. Paul, did you see a Team USA skeleton competitor had a Venom helmet at the Olympics? No, I did not. That's pretty neat, though. Ninty Prime will raid Elisa tonight if she has it enabled. Nate, do I have it enabled? Can you see? I mean, well, I don't know if you could see right now because you're not streaming. Do I have it enabled? I hope I have it enabled. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. I have unofficially rated your streams before because I don't know how to direct traffic over. So I just copy your link and I paste it and I'm like, hey, everybody, go here. I'm off Nintendo Prime. Nate's on. Click that. Go on over. Without knowing how to officially do it. But I've seen it worked. I've seen people say, PGN raid, and you get like 12, 14 people, but it's all good, you know. Let's see. I didn't sleep last night well. Will be shocked if I stay up for hours. I hope you sleep better tonight. Hi, Paul. I didn't watch the PlayStation thing yesterday. I usually don't watch PlayStation things since Nintendo and Sony don't like each other, and I'm Team Nintendo. What big announcements were there? Well, the cool thing is, JM Powers, a lot of those announcements that were shown off yesterday for PlayStation are coming over to Nintendo Switch too, like a brand new Castlevania coming to Nintendo, Metal Gear Solid 4 coming to Nintendo, 007 First Light, we already knew about it, but coming to Nintendo, so pretty good stuff on that end. I heard Mina the Hollower's closer to completion, yeah. Hello, Nathaniel, talking amongst each other. Not gonna lie, John Wick looks good, and I don't even like those kind of games. Yeah, John Wick looks so good. Looks so good. What's the ARM? You mean the Switch game ARM? No, ARM is a component of the architecture behind the console. Like, is it a x86? Is it a ARM? Not literally an ARM. Hit that like button if you don't. Nintendo is doomed. Never. But something that is sweet, heck yeah! Nintendo Prime with a $5 super chat. Big thank you, Nate. Let's go. Let's see. I'm gonna put Ninty Prime in here. Ninty? I still want to say Nintendo Prime more often than not. Thanks a lot, Nate. I appreciate it. And just like that, we are Super Nintendo 16-bit stream right now for the hell of it. I should have a total to hit to get me start singing at a medium pace. What would that be? Put your arms around me, baby. Dum, 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 dum. Dum. Can't you see I need you so? Dum, dum, dum. Hold me close against your skin. I'm about to begin loving you. Spit how big they are, honey. My face, sit on the corner of the bed. You see that shampoo bottle now? Yeah, you know, like that kind of stream. Woo! Need a goal to get the whole experience. Yeah. You get that whole experience and then that stream is bam, shut down. Oh, shoot. Oh man, that was funny. That's funny. It's just one of my favorite songs of all time. Oh shoot. Paul Gale for the next for the next Super Bowl halftime show confirmed. You know, I would do it. I would do it. Waves lighter in the air. You should collab with RGT. It would be a funny conversation, maybe on a stream or something. Oh, Xperia, you're talking to Nate. Nintendo Prime has done collabs with RGT. He's had him on as a guest a couple of times. I've seen him. But you're talking to Nate, so I just read it because it was green. Peach is sleeping. Did everybody hit the like button? Oh, I did. Yeah, I hit the like button on my own stream. Darn right. Nerdy Paul, was there anything on the state of play for JRPG fanatics like me? Oh, yeah. Konami had a new game. What was it called? It was in my Konami segment. We have to have a late night stream. Yeah, Joycey. I would, especially because I didn't live react.
Friends don't let friends put up with heartburn.
With the streams to state of play. Okay. Hold on. I'm trying to find the JRPG in the Konami segment because I don't remember the title. Which either. Konami about it. It was a Konami game, right? Yeah, this thing. No, that's Silent Hill. This one. Noir or Near? Not like Near. Rev Noir. There you go. There you go. So Rev Noir could be a solid RPG, possibly. I leave it on my end if the song didn't get copyrighted. Yeah, that was so funny. Singing Paul Gale Network karaoke stream. Maybe Nate. You know what? Maybe Nate. You know what Nate and I should do? I think Nintendo Prime. The chat just gave me an idea. We should have a charity stream one time, and it's like a super chat driven charity stream where we sing fan requests and stuff like that. I could picture it now. Just help out some, gaming for kids kind of stream or something like that. Something that's kind of relatable to what we do, which is video game related, but that would be good, for kids in hospitals and stuff like that, or folks that can't get out, or maybe those with a disability, and like just a charity like that. And it's a singing stream. Yeah. I don't know. Could be fun. I think Chapel Roan should do the next halftime show. Sorry, I agree with Pokemon Fan 34. I would vote for Paul Gale halftime show. That's the better choice. Just gave you another like. Thank you, Gaming Observed. What do I think of Mario Galaxy? The game, I think, is terrific. It's one of my favorites. The sequel, also. The movie, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's like an hour 32 minutes, too. Something got out there this morning, which is a little bit longer than the first one, and I'm glad. I like to see you collab with him and that crew as well, maybe on Spawncast or something. You talking to me now? Like, pop it on the Spawncast? I've never been on there. If I got invited, I would. Nintex to Dope. Who is Konami? You know who Konami is. Metal Gear Solid, Castlevania, Silent Hill. I'm very excited about the Mario Galaxy movie, yes. It's cool that previews showed that Pokopia is looking good. Going to be interesting how it does in Japan, yeah. Is there an RE9 demo on Switch 2? Not yet. Did everyone see the DQ7 Reimagined sales? Just in case any doubts, the country's in love with Dragon Quest? Yep. Okay, you know what? Let's do it, actually. I think we're all caught up in chats and stuff like that. Maybe. Probably caught up. MGS5 should have been in the collection. You know what? On just the other day on the Nintendo Byte podcast, I was talking with Nate, Gamebird, Eric, Roger, and Steve of what I would like to see at the Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase. And two of the things I said was a new Castlevania, well, we got it a few days later, and a Metal Gear Solid 2 collection that had Peace Walker, MGS4, and maybe Acid in it. Or MGS4, Peace Walker, and the Twin Snakes. Something like that. And like, dude, we freaking got almost exactly that just a couple days later at the State of Play. So MGS5 seems like it would be a little bit too ambitious to throw in there, but I agree it would have been cool, but I kind of didn't think so. I thought the collection would have kind of what it had. 4 Peace Walker and maybe something else. And Ghost Babel, that's cool. I wonder if the Twin Snakes will ever come out in modern day. Maybe the Twin Snakes comes to NSO, actually. That could be a good place for... could be a good place for it. I think we will see this conversation play out with RE9. We will see how good a third party will sell on Switch 2. Yeah, really good, I think. Funny how the best and most talked about reveal at the Sony show was an older game. Yeah, people say Switch 2 only had older games. Yeah. Day one for MGS4. In my well thought out opinion, Nintendo gamers buy ports of good third party games as long as they are good ports. When a dev throws something on Switch 2 without proper optimization, it does bad. Yeah. E for everybody doesn't necessarily mean kiddie games. Definitely true. Is Legacy of Kain coming to Nintendo Switch 2? Yes. Paul, did you see the Castlevania? Castlevania was a new surprise. That was the best surprise. MGS4 also didn't know about it, but cool. Was thinking that it would happen. My friend is so excited about the new Castlevania. Good, good. Okay. Paul has never been on Spawncast for some reason. I thought you were. No. I've been on Player Essence's podcast. So Player Essence, OJ, he used to have a podcast. So I was on his podcast a few times. A couple of different revisions of it over the years. On a couple streams. But not on like Spawn Waves channel or the Spawncast. No. Yo peeps, says Sketches of Harmony. 95 minutes, the movie is. They had the same number of lumas on the back of the Galaxy Lucky Charms box, which I had a sneaking suspicion about. Interesting. When I was a kid, I thought the Konami code worked on every video game. I tried it out all the time, and I never got anything unless it was a Konami game. That's kind of funny. That was such a good state of play last night. MGS4's hype. Spawn Gale Network. Spawn Gale Network. That's funny. All right. For some of you, this might be old, but we didn't go over it yesterday. So this will be new from me to you, but it might not be new overall because you might have found out about it elsewhere on social media, on X, on YouTube, someone else covering it. But for the heck of it, let's go over it because it's one of the things that we usually do here on Thursday mornings, and we're just doing it now instead. These are the top 10. Actually, what we do have available to us are the top 30 best-selling games in Japan for the week of February 2nd through February 8th, 2026. This is software only for now, and physical games only. That's what this list represents. Starting with number 1. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined on Nintendo Switch did a whopping 177,000 copies. Dragon Quest VII Reimagined on Nintendo Switch 2 did 160,000, quite close. And third, Dragon Quest VII Reimagined on PlayStation 5, that moved 118,000. So you can see it was a very big opener for the game overall in Japan, right? You know, close to 460,000. Quite solid. Really big audience quantity making up on Nintendo side. The Nintendo side definitely outweighed Sony's quite a bit. Neo 3 on PS5 was in 4th, also a new title for the week, moving 40,000 copies. In 5th, Mario Kart World on Nintendo Switch 2 with 10,000. In 6th, Animal Crossing New Horizons on Nintendo Switch with 8,300. In 7th, Animal Crossing New Horizons Nintendo Switch 2 edition, moving 8,000. When you combine that, you've got over 16,000. That's a lot. Look at Animal Crossing continuing to do well. Love to see it. In 8th, Momotaro Dentetsu 2 on Nintendo Switch 2, which moved 5,500. In 9th, Pokemon Legends ZA on Nintendo Switch, which did 5,029. And in 10th, Kirby Air Riders on Nintendo Switch 2, which moved 4,848. Now, you're not seeing some of the titles that you might be like, well, where's this one? Where's that one? That's because now we're looking at the top 30. So I can scroll down. I'm not going to read all of them, but I'll scroll down. But the reason why some things were bumped out is because, like, this week we've got 4 new entries, you know? So let's take a look. It's not like the Nintendo Switch 2 version of Pokemon Legends ZA didn't sell. It just got bumped out of the top 10 for this week. But still a respectable 4,484. That Nintendo Switch version of Momotaro Dentetsu 2, not a bad, 4,370. Minecraft's still there. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe still there. Good to see this one, I gotta be honest. FF7 Remake Intergrade on Nintendo Switch 2 did 3,163. That's not a lot, but after a game that's like a Japanese RPG debuts in Japan, it usually has a pretty hard drop the next week. For it to exist a few weeks in and be dropping less than 50% each week is not bad. This is also a game that's been out for 6 years, folks. So what do you expect? I dropped on X a couple of weeks ago just how well it did do, and it didn't do bad at all in Japan. And I said it then, and I'll say it again now. You will see Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on Nintendo Switch 2 open up better than Remake did in Japan, because Rebirth is the game that's still newer. It will have been out for a few years, not 6. It will be out on a platform with a smaller install base, not a PS4 and a PS5. It's just a PS5. So you're going to see bigger sales on Nintendo Switch 2 at the opening, at least. I remember some folks saying, no way, it's going to sell worse. It won't. Long run, maybe. But I'm talking opening. That's what I'm talking about right now. My Hero Academia, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Super Mario Party Jamboree, Nintendo Switch Sports, a lot of Nintendo representation here, but a decent amount of Sony mixed in. The NS version of Jamboree, Smash Bros. Ultimate, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. Good to see this one in the top 25. It's the 22nd right there with 1,800. Splatoon 3, Breath of the Wild. Look at this Breath of the Wild, folks. Almost 9 years old and still selling. Love to see it. Clubhouse Games. Cartagena. A new title. Small debut, 1,500. Code Vein 2. Super Mario Odyssey. Almost 8.5 years old. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Y'all wonder why does Pokemon Scarlet and Violet show up in Nintendo's quarter financial results? How is it still selling a few 100,000 per quarter? Well, this is how. Because you sell a couple thousand a week, and you multiply that by a month, and you multiply that by 3 months, and then multiply that by the world, and that's how you get there. Tamagotchi Plaza in 30th. Yeah, it was a strong week for Nintendo, as is almost every week in Japan. 15 on Nintendo Switch, 11 on Nintendo Switch 2, 4 on PlayStation 5. J2 Blue says, J2 Blue, aren't you green? You're gray. I thought you were green. You should be blue. J2 Blue, do you think the Nintendo Direct rumor next week has validity? I was pretty darn confident that next week was going to be a partner showcase or something, because when I heard certain developers who had games ready to be shown off as recently as the Game Awards but didn't announce a Nintendo Switch 2 version yet of something will be able to show off their titles imminently, which meant to me in a few days or next week. That, to me, corroborated with what else people were saying, so I was like, dude, next week's going to be a partner showcase or something. I didn't know it was a partner showcase. That's not like what my source told me. Nothing like that. Nothing on that end this time. But the fact that stuff was looking good, like on that retail side, that things were going to be happening soon in terms of companies able to promote, means somebody knew stuff. They knew enough. This time around, though, I don't have anything. I might get something last minute. Would be pretty cool. Not going to lie, it would be pretty cool if I heard something. But I don't yet. So all I could do right now is go off my statistics in likelihood of directs, in likelihood of multiple directs in a comparable amount of time as the past of this February through April 30th range, and go with the rumors from people that have been talking about it. So there's a little bit of hope, there's a little bit of analysis, and a little bit of just trusting folks that say, yeah, I've heard stuff. It does kind of fit well to have one, Galaxy movie talk, game release fever, Pokemon here, Super Bowl here, staggering stuff here, partner showcase here. It does kind of make sense to have one. And then you got Mario Day here, expect something. And then you got the movie there, and then probably after that you got Mysterious Book, Yoshi. It fits nicely. I think we'll get one before April 30th. That's about as confident as I'm willing to put out there. Like 99% sure we're going to get one before April 30th. They're not going to wait till June. But do I want to put my chips on the table and say I'm on team next week? I don't know yet. Because I don't know. So it's just looking at the other stuff. So I can't say it. I'm going to say I hope so. But I don't know. But I guess the simple question is, I'm long-winded, sorry. The simple question is, do I think it has validity? Yeah. But I don't know how much validity, If DQ7 was only on Switch 2 and not Switch 1, I reckon a lot of those people would have bought Switch 2 for it. Yeah, Japan does love Dragon Quest. Big time Timmy Jim. No other insiders like Nate the Hate are corroborating Nash's info. Yeah. I think we can forget next week and focus on March, maybe. Seems like the sources don't all cross over. Nash has been right about some things that Nate hasn't spoken of yet. Nintex 2 Dope. Paul, as a fighting game, bros, what is your assessment of Dead or Alive 6 relaunch this summer on PS5, boding well for the unannounced Switch 2 version as well? I think yes, I'm excited. Plus a new game? I'd say so. I'd say it bodes well for the game coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Oh, Sega is not against putting Virtua Fighter 5 on Nintendo Switch 2, Surely Capcom has shared of their success. I know they have of Street Fighter 6. When you see the bulk of Street Fighter 6 sales, you have to assume that in the last half a year, the bulk of those new sales, which was several 100,000, came from the Nintendo Switch 2 version. So I think there's a market, a place on Nintendo platforms for them. So I think we'll get Dead or Alive this generation. It hasn't been a franchise with much. Gosh, hold on, wait a minute. If any Nintendo presents? Hold on. Oh, man. Has Dead or Alive ever been on a Nintendo console? I'm thinking through it right now, and I don't think so. Or smaller title off to the side. Yeah, there are a couple of series that, like Virtual Fighter, aside from Akira being in Super Smash Brothers, Virtual Fighter has never been on Nintendo till now. Soul Calibur has, Tekken has a couple of times. Dead or Alive? Maybe not. Hey, my newest Galaxy movie thought is uploading now. Cool. I expect Yoshi will release by the time the movie comes out with a month's notice. Could be direct date drop or Twitter, but also announcing 3D Mario before Requiem release will get some units sold. Mysterious Book, it's going to be an interesting release date. It'd be kind of crazy, but it won't happen on April 2nd just because it would make people have to divvy up their money between seeing the movie or buying this $70 game. But I think that Mysterious Book, pops up within a couple of months of the movie. So by that logic, I'm guessing I'm going with no later than a June 30th kind of release for Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. We'll see. I don't care if it's next week or next month. I just want a direct. Hope we get one next week. Paul, if Shenmue 3 Enhanced is Shenmue 3 Enhanced Edition coming out for Switch 2? I don't know about that one yet. I don't think it's been confirmed. As long as there's no shadow drops, it would make sense to leverage Requiem as a system seller by showing what else is in store, I think. A lot of talk back and forth. Only Dead or Alive on 3DS? Yeah. Was that the one? I was going to say Game Boy Advance or 3DS seems to jog my memories of there being a Dead or Alive. 3DS sounds about right. Yeah, very little representation from Dead or Alive. I guess that's a little bit more than a Virtua Fighter, though. Last time I played DOA was on Dreamcast. For the last Direct, September 12th, Nate the Hate spoke about it for the first time on August 31st. I think the Dreamcast was the last time I played any fighter. LOL, Soul Calibur was awesome with the world map. May for Yoshi. I like May for Yoshi. I have a copy of the first Virtua Fighter for the Sega Genesis. Yeah, that was an interesting version. It was kind of cool to see it. I like, you know what I like? I like advanced games that probably shouldn't be on the system coming out for systems. Like, dude, this system's 5, 6, 7 years old. This new game utilizes more modern conventions and stuff like that. What are you doing putting on this, old technology? But I like that. Like Virtua Fighter, that was quite new, and Sega Genesis was long in the tooth, so to speak, when that came out. Sega Genesis, that's a 1989 machine, no? Yeah. And Virtua Fighter, you're looking into approaching the mid-90s. Similar situation, kind of, with a Street Fighter Alpha 2. You've got the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, released in 1991. Street Fighter Alpha 2, not using the CPS board that Capcom was known for, but the CPS 2 board, significantly more powerful. Here, the next-gen consoles like PlayStation and Sega Saturn are having Street Fighter Alpha 2, and you got Alpha 2 running on an SNES cartridge? Dang, dude. That had a lot of animations, a lot of music, cool intro, lots of endings, lots of flashing and powers. It was such a beefy cartridge that it actually had loading on it. What? I loved it. I loved that version so much. I like not even a demake, but I like the version that taps the system, Monado Max, speaking of things I like, having that 4-month badge with the Green Ranger next to your name, PGN white belt, let's go. Oh, snap! Right after that, Monado Max, something else I like, sending 5 gifted Paul Gale Network memberships, bringing us up to a whopping 452. We crossed the 50s mark. Wow. And we're at 21 total for the stream. Monado Max, big thank you. Out of nowhere. With the 5. I gotta read these names off. Oh, that's style right there. Dropping your membership badge, showing off that green, and then gifting 5 green to the community. Big thank you, Monado Max. We're 48 away from 500. Dude, that's close. We've hit 500 once. This is probably the closest that we've gotten to there since? I don't know, but it's freaking sweet. Thank you so much to Max, Monado Max, Ninty Prime, Roger Enyart, and Ash. Trayan Dean, Tristan Wide, Console, Excellent, GG 5051, and Joycey J69. Joycey J, you got a membership. You're in the chat. Let's go. The other 4, you are not here, but maybe you'll be here by the end of the stream or something. Also, why aren't any of you guys talking about the Raven collection? That's an awesome drop as well. You know what? That was a good drop too. That was good too. I agree. It's been a while since we've seen the old school Rayman games available, on a modern platform. Gosh, Wii and Wii U had a couple of really good ones with Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends. And even that, I think, that was the last time we've had a Rayman title, right? 2013, September, something like that. Seems to ring a bell. 13 years or so since a brand new Rayman? No, the collection was cool. That was good. First Virtua Fighter actually runs really good on Genesis. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's different, and it's also different. It's like a different, where the Sega Dreamcast, or sorry, where the Sega Saturn version attempts to be the arcade version, the Sega Genesis version was like its own thing. It was, significantly different, but good. As close as Koei Tecmo are with Nintendo, I'm shocked DOA hasn't made more than one appearance on Nintendo family consoles. Yeah, no, I agree. Good thought. Do you like Death Stranding? Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I like what it is. Gaming Observed. I haven't played neither the first nor the second in great capacity, but a little bit. Did I enjoy Metro Prime 4? Absolutely. Loved it. It's a PGN Friday. Yes, it is, Michael S. Powell. I'd have thought that they would want Yoshi to be an impulse buy available to anyone coming out of the movie. I think it says spring 2026. Close to the movie, yes, but they probably don't want it to necessarily compete with the movie. Or someone that watches the movie, takes their family, what if they want to go see it again? Maybe they can't because now they got to buy the game. How do you get people to spend all their money? Properly pace things. Build off the hype of one, let people recollect their funds, and then release the other. But if you release them too close, something competes with themselves, right? Yeah, that's all fine balancing. Virtua Striker was fun too. No problem. Keep up the amazing work. Thank you, Minato Max. John Wick was the best announcement. Michael S. Gutman, that was really good. I agree. Joyce J dropping all those emojis. Look at all those. Look at all those colorful faces of Paul. Did you like the DOA movie? I don't think I watched it. J2 Blue. I kind of hope they make a new Rayman game instead of just remaking Legends again. That's a very confusing move if true. Maybe. Roger. Woo! Just got confirmation from Nintendo that my Virtual Boy is on the way. Ooh, that's exciting. Dang, I haven't checked my email yet today. But, snap, Roger. You just reminded me. It's Virtual Boy time. I pre-ordered one as well. And I'll be doing an unboxing. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. It's funny because I know in reality I'll probably play each game for like 20 minutes. And then maybe for the heck of it, once in a while, I'll play a few of the games for like 20 minutes to an hour more. So I'll probably only play the Virtual Boy for several hours. But it doesn't matter. I didn't own one back in the day. I played one, rented one, had one at a friend's house that rented. And, a handful of times in 95, 96. And then fast forward 10 years later, late 2015, late 2016, ironically, right about a decade later is when I played it again a couple of times. When I bought one for a friend and, he paid me back. It was just me helping him find one, I should say. And then now, geez, it's been another 10 years. So it was like a 20-year gap, and then now another 10-year gap. So I just want it. I want the visual piece. I want it in my room. I want it in this game room or something, like as a piece of memorabilia, even though it's not the original. It looks like it. So that means something to me. Even though I'm probably not going to play it a whole ton, Like I said, I'll play it for 7 hours in its entirety, maybe. I don't even know if it's something that my kids will necessarily play because kids are supposed to look at stereoscopic 3D imaging, with glasses or glasses free. Not for a while. Their eyes need to develop more, or it could cause, irreversible damage to the eyes. And I don't want that, So, yeah. I'm still excited, though. Oh, John Wick. Yes, yes, yes. I'm too poor for the Virtual Boy. I really want one. Help me, Paul. For the legit old school one that they sell on eBay for like $300-400 for a good one, or for this new one? Because the new one, it's not cheap, but it is like 110, which is not too bad comparatively. Caps Paranormal. I pre-ordered the Resident Evil Generations box set. Heck yeah, same here. The other day I checked, and Amazon said it's not scheduled for delivery until March 11th. It must mean there's a huge demand for the box set. That's good to know. All right, let's go back into the video game sales, because now we've got over 40 likes. We hit the 40 likes. Yes, that's a good thing. That means we officially have more likes than people watching. That's the way our streams end. We got 35 watching, 42 likes. How is that possible? Well, people come and go. But thank you all for hitting that like button. But we've got a good amount of people in here. So let's just continue with those sales. Because here's the hardware side. We took a little break from reading. The best-selling console, I should say, of the week was the Nintendo Switch 2. Which in non-holiday times just did another 65,807 units. Pretty good. Very small drop from the previous week. That means Nintendo is keeping the stock consistent. They're pumping out over 60,000 a week, probably a little bit more in the warehouses, having this distribution center ready, because like Mario Tennis Fever, for instance, just dropped. And they've got some other stuff cooking. I think Resident Evil 9 will see another little bit of a spike in here. Time will tell. PlayStation 5 in second, anyhow, with 11,130. Nintendo Switch in third with 8,892. Xbox Series in fourth with 1,253. And then PlayStation 4 in fifth with 22. When I report these online, like on X and stuff like that, I don't bother mentioning PS4. No offense, it's just such a small number that it's not that significant and not that important to be uploading that information every day, in my opinion, Yeah. I mean, you could kind of... No, that's not fair. I was going to say, you could kind of say that about Xbox Series also, but no. Xbox Series at least is a, current day active platform, so it should still be counted. Yeah. Kind of a missed opportunity for Xbox. They started off the generation not bad in Japan, actually, selling pretty well. Some weeks, believe it or not, outselling PS5. And then they just let the ball go. This could have been their opportunity to change things around in Japan. Not dramatically, but a little bit. Instead, like nothing. Oh well. On the website, it says you could play with a Pro Controller, even on the cardboard one, but could be a mistake. No, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Because you play with Pro Controllers or Joy-Cons. So I think that's all good with either one. Kena 2 was probably the best announcement in the state of play, with it being published by Sony. It could be a bit until it goes to other platforms, yeah. New video out now, bro. YouTube has been loving my vids lately. That's awesome, Gaming Observed. That's on Galaxy, you said, right? Switch Lite's going strong, yeah. JM Powers, I pre-ordered the RE box set too. Also, enjoy your gaming history vids. Thank you, Gaming Observed. KCD1. I just got a PS5 version today. It's $40, but you could get the $8 PS4 version, get a free upgrade. That's good. Having Hope 5, dropping all those emoji out of nowhere. Let's see. Can I name them all off from here? Yeah, I think so. Well, I should. We got Majora's Mask, Tommy the Green Ranger, James Bond, Mario, Street Fighter 4 crossover with Gale Network, Solid Snake, Akuma, PGN in the Nintendo Switch commercial, Jigsaw, Superman, Steve Rogers, Captain America, Baldur from God of War Ragnarok, Lisa's Great Adventure, Ryu from Street Fighter, Professor Paul, bearded / grizzled Link, GTA 5, Emio, Goku, Jackass, Beautiful Joe, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Bayonetta. Nice. Nice variety. Charlie Smith, what's up? I think the Labo only lets you play holding to the face. The one needs to have the Joy-Cons attached, but maybe you can custom strap to your face and use a Pro Controller. Yeah. Let's see. Let me look at the poll. And I can only put 4. I know a lot of people have been saying, oh, Legacy of Kain or Kina or something. But of these, MGS4, being out of PS3 jail, got first place with 38% of the votes. And second, not too far behind, brand new Castlevania. In third, not too far behind that, John Wick with 25%. And in fourth, Star Wars Galactic Racer. All right. As a creator today, I feel I have infinitely more things to make videos on than ever. Well, that's good. Whenever you feel like there's so much, now that's the least of your problems, you know? When I was doing my gaming history videos in November, I mean, the community here will tell you, Nate, Nintendo Prime, Ninty Prime will tell you, there were a couple days where it was like 7 videos a day, 13 videos a day. And then you've got some where it's just the one, or 3, you know. There's never a shortage. It's just sometimes there are a lot of cool big ones and sometimes not as many big notable cool ones, you know. I'd like to see Italia 90. Commodore 64 was the last time I got into a fighting game. It was IK Plus. Pokemon Fan 34, you don't think Nintendo will wait till June for Yoshi? You never know. Or you mean the Nintendo Direct? I don't think they will. For either. Actually, well, I'd say Yoshi is more likely to be June than the Direct. The Direct, I think, will happen earlier. But I also think Yoshi will happen earlier, too, you know? You would like Silent Hill to come? Yeah. Tari Nikun Star. Hi, Polygon Network. Hi, Terry. Or Tari. Legends of Dragoons remake. That's a lot. Keep grinding. Yeah. Do you like being called G-Man? I don't mind. That's all good. I don't think I have. I don't have anything against it. No, I'm all good. G-Man. That's funny. Oh, direct in June. Gotcha. By the way, oh man. Ooh, I didn't see this one. Look at that. Look how nice that looks. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so nice. Wow. I love Mario. I love Super Mario Brothers so much. It's such a part of my history. It's such a part of my life. It's been with me for so many years, you know? Zelda as well, you know. But Mario goes back longer. It goes back farther than Zelda. So I'm looking at this, and I see some Super Mario 3D World representations, Sunshine, Odyssey, 64, Toad and Peach. Like, I just love it, dude. Ah, it's so nice. I was going to show you all the posters, but I did not see this one yet. As you can see, I didn't even like this one yet. Boop. This one I liked. You got Bowser with his axes from Super Mario Brothers. Boy, does he look cool. This movie is going to be such a good, cool movie, I feel, with amazing visuals, some great music, some original pieces, probably some licensed music that's fitting and fun and cool. It'll be funny. It'll have nice action. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. But I think it's going to be remarkable for Nintendo fans, for Mario fans that have been around for decades. We're going to just eat this up with like, oh my gosh, that's a reference to this. That was the little jingle that Koji Kondo put in there. That's that. Oh my gosh, she said that line. Wow, that was cool. Oh, they nailed that power up. What? I can't believe that they did a throwback to blank. Like, for us more vested fans, invested, into this stuff, I think it's going to be just another it's going to be a repeat of the Super Mario Brothers movie. I can't believe you got people out there thinking this one doesn't do $1 billion. Dude, how is it not? Original is like $1.36 billion. Third highest animated movie of all time. Second, if you don't count Lion King, but was not Lion King animated? Yeah. Now, Zootopia 2 has topped them both. So the Super Mario Brothers movie is like the third or fourth highest rated or highest grossing animated film ever in the box office. I think this is a 1.5 billion. It's definitely $1 billion. It definitely tops $1 billion. Again, there's no way they're going to have that much of a drop off. And the fact that the Mario movie was actually good means that it wasn't just watched by people, a lot of them once. No. A lot of people had multiple viewings. A lot of word of mouth spread because it was good, that a lot of people took a friend or recommended folks that might not have seen it. And it did well on DVDs and Blu-rays. It did well on streaming. And yeah, this movie has definitely 1.5 billion potential. Can't wait, dude. Can't wait. Oh my gosh. And this is another one. Check it out. You got Luigi with his cape, being a little reminiscent of the Super Mario World cape, right? Man. And I don't know why people were worried that, oh my gosh, it's too much Odyssey. Dude, it's Nintendo's movie. Let them do whatever they want. They could have called it, the Super Mario Silly Movie. And despite having a ridiculous name like the Super Mario Silly Movie, nothing to do with World, Sunshine, Galaxy, or Odyssey. And if it was just called Silly, the Super Mario Silly Movie, as silly as a name as it would be, everything in it would be freaking magnificent, as cool as it is now. So regardless of the title, just enjoy the film, Oh, but Galaxy should be associated properly with the space and the planetoids in that field, and not too many of these locales from Odyssey and Sunshine people showing up, because that's limiting them from future movies. No, it's not limiting them from nothing, okay? Mario's been around for 40 years. There's 40 years worth of content that you could drag out and put in. And there's new scenarios and Luigi's Mansion spin-off and different unique things like a buddy cop movie of Mario and Donkey Kong and a DK spin-off and a whole movie that you could put on Bowser's origin. Like, dude, there's enough. A whole Rosalina film that is just her spin-off. Like, they're fine, okay? They're fine. You got a little bit more Odyssey representation than you thought, that's okay. They're just going to make it a bigger movie. Will that mean that they never have a movie called the Super Mario Odyssey movie? Maybe, maybe not. But I'm not concerned of their naming conventions. What they do, just that what they do next is continuously giving us cool new Mario films. I love it. Love it. Oh, let's see. Style of the movie is peak. Paul, we are of similar age. I remember playing as Link with a stick and a trash can lid. Did the same thing pretending to be Dirk the Daring too. Good times. That's pretty cool, Caps. That's fun. Imagination of a kid. It's amazing stuff. Hey, here's a question I thought about. Was the original Pokemon Yellow on the game the first game you could save in? No. As many Mario games than even Pokemon games. Mario will never grow old, yep. Colosseum Gale of Darkness for you. Yeah. One of them's got a shadow drop. If you want to use that term on February 27th, right? Come on. A lot of film series I really like. The second installment, like Pirates of the Caribbean, How to Train Your Dragon, Back to the Future, Dark Knight. They can have a lot of momentum. Empire Strikes Back, Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, Terminator 2. I'd say that Jurassic Park was definitely more impactful than Jurassic Park 2. Hard to beat it on terms of impact, though. Me and my daughter are looking forward to watching the movie. She loves Princess Peach. That's cool. Scott Stevenson. It needs the strong locales. Galaxy didn't have those focal points, so it makes sense. Yeah, the first movie, the amount of stuff they crammed in was crazy. In 100 years, I'd love to see what Nintendo would be like. Yeah, you could have a spin-off of the Toads and their origin story. True. Is he doing the mute thing again? Or is my YouTube acting up? I think your YouTube is acting up. Guys, I think the first game you could save was the original Legend of Zelda NES. What was the first game? What was the first? This was on the original Game Boy. Pokemon Yellow. What else could you save in? Is the stream acting up? Hopefully the stream's okay. Oh, one more poster. This one. Look at that spin. Look at that beautiful spin, man. Look at that. Look at the colors. Gosh. You got Lakitu going on, dude. Spinies. I love it. But no. Zelda predates Pokemon Yellow by a good 11 years or so, and The Legend of Zelda allowed you to save in it in 1986. Generally believed to be, if I'm not mistaken, is the first game where you could save in it. I'm waiting for Star Fox Zero with VR. Man. Yeah, I want Star Fox to come back. I say it all the time. You watch my channel enough, my live streams enough, me hopping on Nintendo Prime's channel, his stream, Nintenbyte, Nintopics, collabing with Andres Restart or Game Explain, talking to Rogers Base or Player Essence. Anybody's channel that I'm on. Game Bird Classic, Nintendo Land, Kid and Krista. I'm talking about Star Fox. I love Star Fox, man. Star Fox Zero was a pretty good game with a little bit of a convoluted player control setup had some ingenuity behind it, was fun and clever, a little bit more difficult than it need be, though, for that type of game. Fun, but unnecessary. Not quite advancing the story of Star Fox, and little bit of a limit in terms of what it could do despite trying to do more. And it was a little bit of a mess in some regards, but also had some nice locales, some good voice acting, some fun gameplay, good combat, some great music, cool lines, good use of special effects. Some levels hit hard. Good alternate, like with the black R-Wing as opposed to the blue R-Wing that was more powerful but also more vulnerable to getting destroyed. Yeah. The best way to play that game, by the way, was 2-player. That was so cool. That was good. More skill was required in you to pay attention differently than you probably wanted to in just a Star Fox fun pick up and play kind of game. Navigating, shooting, manipulating the screen and gyro all at once in solo combat. But in 2-player, it was a pretty fun, different experience for the two folks to be in. One could play Star Fox as intended, as you know and love, and the other person is operating the gamepad separately. My brother-in-law, him and we played. I played through the game on my own, but then when he came over, we played through it kind of again, almost the whole campaign, or most of it, a lot of it at least, in that 2-player mode. Like, man, that was so much fun. I also remember Pokemon Red and Blue could save, and they came before Yellow. I have all 3. Bro, I didn't know what to do in the Golden game. Which Golden game? Golden Sun? Or GoldenEye 007? Which Golden game? Pokemon Gold? Like Pokemon Gold Silver? I'm not sure which Golden game you're talking about. Gameberg said, yesterday he's doing a collaboration video again with 9 people or more. I think you're in it, aren't you? Yeah, I could say I'm in it just because it's not a spoiler, because he invited me publicly on the podcast, on the Nintendo Byte podcast. Wednesday nights. A plug right there, So yeah, that was really fun to be a part of. I think a VR mode would increase the sales a lot this time around, but also 4K will be great for it. It's just the arcade longevity means it needs extra enticement, yeah. Charlie Smith. Paul. Yes. Oh, I see. Aren't you? You're, okay. P-A, and then I see P-A-U-L down there. Yeah. Yeah. Dang. Oh, we got this little Luma thing too. What was this one there? I love that music. Oh my gosh. I love that music so much. Oh, this one, another one. This is a good one too. Gosh, it's so good. It's so good. I love it so much. Man, I love it so much. Love it. For the Super Mario Brothers movie, I got to go to the red carpet premiere of it. And that was really, really neat. Like, what a way to watch the movie the first time, dude. At the red carpet premiere in Hollywood. That was neat. And it's the adventure that followed afterwards, which is extra unique, they've all told the story, so it's not like I'm telling the story for the first time, but you know, in our immediate group of four watching the movie was Kit and Krista, Andre Seegers, Game Explained, and me. And afterwards, the three of them went in my car, and I drove Kit, Krista, Andre a couple miles down to the after party. And here we just watched the Super Mario Brothers movie together. And you've got Kevin Michael Richardson right here talking to him, taking pictures. This big Mario prop set up right there. Boom, cool. Talking with Doug Bowser, whom at this point I've known for several years. Friends with. See the movie, do the recording after the red carpet walk, like all that. Then going to this after party and seeing Mr. Miyamoto again. Taking pictures with Mario Van, seeing Jack Black, interviewing him, doing a little crossover piece for him for Charles Martinet, and then inside seeing Koji Kondo for the first time in quite some years, introducing Koji Kondo to Andre, meeting Miss Anya Taylor-Joy and talking with her, and like going into the VIP section. Seeing Kevin Michael Richardson again, who played Namek in the film, Little video with Jack Black, going in the Mario Flower room with Andre, and taking pictures, hopping on the go-karts, walking around with Kit, Krista, and Andre, and trying out like the pizza and the cupcakes, and just such a cool vibe, such a just mini Nintendo E3 experience. Like, dude, that was all a part of seeing the Super Mario Brothers movie for the first time. Like, that was the experience. And then, having already watched it, I got the tickets for my wife, my kids, and me to go see it that afternoon before the day of the film, how they do it. And even though I just watched it a few days ago, it was just so magical yet again, and seeing how happy they were to see it. And then it's actually one of the few movies that I went to theaters a couple more times to go see it. Like another time with my son, another time by myself, maybe another time. Like I ended up seeing several times in theaters. And then at home, I remember like, for my birthday that year, I think it was that year, unless it was the year that followed, I was like, I just want to sit home today. So we went out to get some Chipotle. We brought the Chipotle back and had some people over, and we just watched the Super Mario Brothers movie, and we had some like Chipotle and watched the 4K Blu-ray. I think that's what I put on. Dude, I love the movie. I'm really excited for this one. I don't know if I will watch this movie in such a grand capacity like I did last time. I would love to. But yeah, man. For the Galaxy movie, for the Street Fighter movie, for the Zelda movie. You've got like my three favorite IP right there, all having new films within this, slightly over a year time span. Like, that's dope, dude. Bob Hoskins wasn't there, no. That's a cool group, yeah. Bro, the first hour and already 100 views. I know how to pick these videos, haha. Good job. 1 hour in, already 100 views. That's a lot, That's good. You gotta get every win. You gotta take every win you can, Somebody said that Donkey Kong movie's next. Yeah, I've heard about that. Unofficial, but would be pretty sweet. I'd be down for a Donkey Kong movie. Heck yeah. I'm up for all of it, A live action Metroid film would be really cool looking. A live action Star Fox movie, but with like Jim Henson style puppets, cranked up a bit, little bit of CGI, maybe to do some extra things. That would be an interesting twist, right? I really think that Star Fox could benefit from an animated series, like a Netflix animated series, or live action, or puppeteering, or something like that, to like lead up to a new game. And that game's got to be big and ambitious, like I've said before. Star Fox, I firmly believe in being another pillar of Nintendo's. It's too cool of an IP. It is their Guardians of the Galaxy. It should be bigger than it is. We'll see. All right. Live action Chibi Robo. Gotta roll, y'all. Have a fabulous day. Have a great one too, Joycey. We're probably going to end the stream now. Did I get everything that I wanted to talk about? We got the Famitsu sales. Bam! Hardware and software. We got the Mario Galaxy posters and a little bit more because I didn't see that Princess Peach one till now with all of you. We looked at a couple of shorts. Talked about the state of play. Talked about some of the games. Successful stream. Fun. I probably won't stream tomorrow on Saturday, Valentine's Day. Usually I'm not streaming on Saturdays anyways. But I hope y'all have a good Saturday, regardless of if you're doing something on Valentine's Day or not. You know, just have fun regardless. It's all good. Doesn't matter. You know, some people make a big deal of it. Don't ever feel bad, though. Don't ever feel sad if you don't have someone to celebrate with it. Just enjoy being you. It's all good. Less drama sometimes. You know? It's okay. My wife and I, we're going to go out, though. We're going to have fun. And, yeah, I'll probably see you all on Monday. Have a great rest of your day. To Ash, Monado Max, Ninty Prime, and Roger Enyart, thank you for the $21 in super chats and or gifted memberships. And thank you everybody for being here. Y'all take care. And see you Monday. Tabby Cat Games, Pokemon Fan 34, Sketches of Harmony, Charlie Smith, Gaming Observed, Roger Enyart. Anybody else? Big Time Timmy Jim.